The Bitcoin halving is when Bitcoin's mining reward is split in half. It takes the blockchain network about 4 years to open 210,000 more blocks, a standard set by the blockchain's creators to continuously reduce the rate at which the cryptocurrency is introduced. The first reward was 50 Bitcoin. Previous halving dates were November 28, 2012 to 25 Bitcoins, July 9, 2016 to 12.5 Bitcoins, May 11, 2020 to 6.25 Bitcoins, April 19, 2024 to 3.125 Bitcoins. The next halving is expected to occur in 2028, when the block reward will fall to 1.625 BTC. As of April 2024, about 19.69 million Bitcoins were in circulation, leaving just around 1.31 million to be released via mining rewards. Basics of the Bitcoin network. To understand a Bitcoin halving, you must first know how the Bitcoin network operates. Bitcoin's underlying technology, blockchain, consists of a network of computers, called nodes, that run Bitcoin software and contain a partial or complete history of transactions occurring on its network. Each full node contains the entire history of transactions on Bitcoin and is responsible for approving or rejecting a transaction in Bitcoin's network. To do that, the node conducts a check to ensure the transaction is valid. These include ensuring the transaction contains the correct validation parameters and does not exceed the required length. Each transaction is approved individually. This is said to occur only after all the transactions contained in a block are approved. After approval, the transaction is appended to the existing blockchain and broadcast to other nodes. Adding more computers or nodes to the blockchain increases its stability and security. There were 19,329 nodes estimated to be running Bitcoin's code on April 19, 2024. Although anyone can participate in Bitcoin's network as a node, as long as they have enough storage to download the entire blockchain and its history of transactions, not all of them are miners. Basics of Bitcoin. Bitcoin mining is the process by which people use computers or mining hardware to participate in Bitcoin's blockchain network as transaction processors and validators. Miners receive rewards and transaction fees. Bitcoin halving effects. Inflation. One of the key concepts behind halving the reward is to address inflation concerns. Inflation is a decrease in the amount of goods a certain amount of currency can buy at any given moment. In the US, inflation is measured by how much it costs to buy a basket of goods. There is an acceptable inflation rate that is considered good for an economy, usually 2%. But this number is generally a target set by central banks as a goal rather than a reachable figure. The Bitcoin halving is intended to counter any inflationary effects on Bitcoin by lowering the reward amount and maintaining scarcity. However, this inflation protection mechanism does not protect Bitcoin users from the inflationary effects of the fiat currency to which it must be converted to be used in an economy. Gains made regarding market value might offer inflation protection for investors, but it doesn't for the cryptocurrency's intended use as a payment method. Demand. Because a halving reduces the number of new Bitcoins introduced, demand for new Bitcoins generally increases. This can be noted by looking at Bitcoin's price after each previous halving event. It has generally risen. Investing. Bitcoin wasn't intended to be an investment. It was introduced as a payment method that attempted to remove the need to have regulatory agencies or third parties involved in transactions. It became popular with investors once it was noted that there was the potential for gains. Investors poured into the new asset space, creating demand that the cryptocurrency's designers may not have anticipated. For investors, a halving represents a reduction in the new coin supply, but it also offers the promise of an increase in investment value if the event's effects remain the same. But this places Bitcoin investing into the realm of speculation because those invested in the cryptocurrency are hoping for gains. Mining. Miners are the people, groups, or businesses that focus on mining for its profitability. When new Bitcoins are awarded, the miners that receive the reward have been making substantial gains in the past. As Bitcoin's price fluctuated over the years, it remained a lucrative endeavor. If it hadn't, the large mining businesses wouldn't have continued operating. However, a halving cuts mining rewards, so the endeavor becomes less profitable with each halving if prices remain the same or drop. The large-scale mining facilities needed to remain competitive require enormous amounts of money and energy. The equipment and facilities need maintenance and people to conduct it. They also need to upgrade their mining capacity to maintain their position in the industry. For instance, Marathon Digital Holdings, one of the world's largest mining firms, increased its Bitcoin holdings to 16,930 and its fleet of Bitcoin miners to $231,000 in February 2024. This brings the firm's hash rate to 28.7 trillion hashes per second, about 5% of the network's total hash rate as of April 19, 2024. The increase in production capacity and holdings was likely due to anticipations of the April 2024 halving and the amount of hashing power required to remain competitive while having the liquidity necessary to finance its operations. For smaller miners, a decrease in the reward means lower chances. Miners who are part of a mining pool will likely experience smaller rewards, even if prices increase. The reward is being cut in half, but Bitcoin's price is not likely to double to maintain current profitability unless there is a drastic market event. Consumers. Consumers and retail Bitcoin users might be affected by a halving in the value of the Bitcoin they hold. Those who buy Bitcoin for making purchases will generally only be affected by price fluctuations, which may or may not remain similar to those before the halving occurred. For those using Bitcoin for remittances, a halving means the same thing as it does for shoppers. The value of their remittances will depend on Bitcoin's market price after the halving event. What happens when Bitcoin halves? The term halving as it relates to Bitcoin concerns how many tokens are rewarded. This acts as a way to simulate diminishing returns, theoretically intended to raise demand. Why are the halvings occurring less than every 4 years? The Bitcoin mining algorithm is set with a target of finding new blocks once every 10 minutes. Some blocks take more than 10 minutes, some take less. This can decrease or increase the amount of time it takes to reach the next halving goal. For example, if blocks consecutively average 9.66 minutes to mine, it would take about 409 days to mine the 210,000 blocks required. 4 years is 1461 days, including 1 day for a leap year. What happens when there are no more Bitcoins left? It is often thought that in 2140, the last Bitcoin will be mined. However, if the reward is halved every 210,000 blocks, it will get smaller and smaller until 1 Satoshi is the reward and the total amount circulating equals 21 million. 1 Satoshi is 0.011 Bitcoin. It is the lowest denomination of Bitcoin and cannot be halved. The bottom line: a Bitcoin halving cuts the rate at which new Bitcoins are released into circulation in half. The reward system is expected to continue until 2140, when the proposed limit of 21 million Bitcoin is theoretically reached. In 2009, the reward for each block in the chain mined was 50 Bitcoins. After the first halving, it was 25, and then 12.5, and then 6.25 Bitcoins on May 11, 2020. The reward was reduced to 3.125 when the latest halving occurred on April 19, 2024. Bitcoin halving has major implications for its network. For miners, the halving event may result in consolidation in their ranks as individual miners and small outfits drop out of the mining ecosystem or are taken over by larger players. As we wrap up our guide to the Bitcoin halving in 2024, remember it's a big deal for cryptocurrency. Knowing about it can help you understand where things are headed in finance. Whether you're new to investing or just curious, the Bitcoin halving shows how technology is changing money. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep up with the latest in crypto. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this.